Peace and good evening. Welcome back to the House of Chi, where spirituality meets reality. I am your host, Chi Vital, and I am back with some tools for your toolkits and how to create your life. This video is being dropped now for my night owls, but I'd like to get into this calming your nervous system. So if you're awake, like me, and you really should be sleeping, or you just want some information for the next time you are going to go deeper into your subconscious mind, this video is definitely for you. This is for all my go-getters. This is for my people who are constantly on the go, in active mode. I have a funny story to tell y'all, and these Wednesdays are starting to be like have a theme here. Okay. They're starting to definitely have a special theme. So, welcome back to all of my regulars. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Shia Goddess. Hi, the Big Seeker Slytherin. Hi, Wise Choice. Oh, Wise Choice. Got it. um, Welcome back, Even True. Peace, Emerald. Fairy Gangs in the building. Peace, Moyo. Peace, Ashanti. Peace, Sneha. Slytherins in the building. Peace, Lord Shimi. For those of you who are here and I'm able to catch you in the chat early, I want to give y'all a shout out. So let's get into this. Peace, Rob G. So, funny story. Okay. As you all know, I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur, actually run multiple businesses, and um, I stay in a city where I have to be driving on a regular basis. So during the summertime, you all can relate, it gets very, very busy because there's summer camp, there's, daily activities, there's getting outside, there's doing different events alongside with business as usual. And earlier today, literally like before the sun goes down, because in the summertime the sun goes down maybe around like 9 o'clock, maybe. I was like, okay, cool. I finished doing all of the motherly things and I was like, I'll take a nap before a power nap. Let me be clear, a power nap meaning like an hour, quick little, let me lay down right quick. But because it was daytime, I wanted to take a nap, but as I was laying down and the lights are shining brightly into the room, intuitively I started to chant the Soma mantra that I gave you all at 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday, right? I mean, it's hump day. What better way to incorporate my own sound medicine than to, do it myself? And I'm sharing with you some results, things that I forgot. Even though I gave you this mantra, this was a funny moment for me because it's like I forgot. So the Soma mantra, in short, as I get into it, is a really powerful tool for individuals who have insomnia. Okay, and so it gets deeper than that, but this is what caught me off guard because that 1 hour turned into a full blown sleep. Like I was gone 4 hours. And I don't sleep more than 4 hours at night. Now, the sleep doctors, you need 8 hours of sleep. You need at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. 4 hours is not enough. But 4 hours is a full reset for me. So literally, I am now like in a whole brand new day. And for those of you who really are active and you feel what I'm saying, like 4 hours, 5 hours, that is a full night's rest. All right. If you've been in ceremony with me in person, you will note that we're going all night for hours, and the amount of rest that you even witness myself and Asura get in between, it's like a snap. It goes by quickly and we're ready to go. We're awake, we're alive, we're back to it. So I thought that was funny. I was like, let me share this because I don't share things with you as far as medicine, nor does Asura, right? Um, we don't share medicine with you if it's not real. Like, so it's not a matter of cracking open one of these new books that was written in the 2000s or early 90s. Like, this information is ancient information and it's a technology. So even when someone like myself can forget that, oh, not only is this mantra going to get me to rest my mind to sleep, but it's going to be a tranquilizer. How it's going to be a tranquilizer is what I want to explain. Okay. And during my time of putting together my notes of what I wanted to share with you, it also reminded me of a conversation I had with one of my very dear friends who's also a practitioner, where the mind and the body become so important and centralized to our well being and how we attract wealth into our lives. Okay. So last week, if you're following along and you're on my Patreon, you know that last week we were working with the energy of Mercury. And intuitively, this week, we started working with applying the medicine of the moon in order to help keep out feelings of anxiety, of having this racing mind, because certain decisions need to be made. And the decisions that need to be made from a grounded place, right? In order for us to really put this into perspective, everyone who follows this channel, if I don't know you personally, I may have had you as a client. I can tell by the individuals that like kind of flock to this kind of information are very productive. If you're not activated in your productivity, you're in a space where you're wanting to get back to that. I have not, in all of the years that I've been doing this work, come across individuals who don't have that as a goal. All right. So, productivity, especially for women, and I have to mention the difference in gender because women physiologically do not operate at their best doing things the same way that men do. Okay. So let's look at this. We're not going to get into the opinions of this. These are physiological facts because the activities of being very productive in the real world here require a certain amount of solar energy. It is very busy, is very active, and at times it can be very rigid because it has to follow a particular system. Now, sure, you're going to find a bunch of videos that are like, oh, I want to live my soft life and I'm going to live in luxury by being in my soft life, my soft life, my soft life. But where that hurts us is that it doesn't really support us in our greater understanding of how the world works. All right. You have to understand how the world works and then how you use the medicine to create harmony and balance within your body and your mind. We get to the soft life being able to harmonize that solar energy. That softness that we're going towards is a lunar energy. Okay, press 1 if you follow what I'm saying. with the fitness trends, with the wanting to attract wealth, with more people opening up their minds to the possibility that they can go from living close to the poverty line to living in abundance in excess of their debts, right? So they're able to clear their debts in excess freely with joy, a generous and happy way, because they have access to information like at the snap of their fingers, tip of their fingertips, right? There has to be some truth telling in regards to that. For women who are working out and they really, really push their bodies, every day you see 6 days a week, hardcore cardio, hitting the weights, there is going to be a feedback to that rhythm that seems like it's going against the goal, right? Burnout does set in. And it's not because something is wrong with the modality of working out, but because it is so laden with solar energy that the female body burns out and it does not get to really enjoy the recovery mode that helps to draw it. It brings the results you're looking for don't actually occur during the active part of the workout. And similarly to life and building abundance, the goals that you're seeking as far as pulling in crazy bread, building up your creativity, being able to put your imagination into something tangible that other people can visualize and understand and interact with, that part doesn't happen in the midst of the busyness. It happens in the midst of your rest and recovery, believe it or not, right? While probably 95% of you who are here are learning about how to put together a business plan via the Mahavidyas, one of the biggest aha moments I had during my years of learning and practicing that particular discipline was through Dumavadi, right? I mean, this is not even on my notes for me to share, but I just want to connect information and that you're working on literally right now to real life, right? Dumavadi is the one whose energy is like, she comes from before there was anything. So that part of yourself where you're doing all of this sadhana, you're chanting and you're sitting at your shrines, your altars, and you're doing, her magic happens when you're asleep. Her magic comes from taking all of that build-up energy and putting it together in such a way that time doesn't matter because she's before time exists. Again, it's the same with the real world for you here. When you are living in this highly solar environment, you start to feel fatigue. The muscles, the body starts to dry out. It's a lot of fire energy. And in fire energy, when you start to dry out and you lose the fluidity, you lose the magnetism, you lose the ability to attract what you truly desire. So it's not that you want to throw the solar activities out the window, but you need to have the tools and implement them so that all that you are working towards can come to you more swiftly. So the same with your workout plan, Same with following a business plan. Same with how you run your household. You have to have blocks in there where you are just to rest. You have to rest. And anyone who is driving you to not rest, when you intuitively know that you are coming towards the feelings of burnout, doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay? Which is sometimes the problem with when women want to try to obtain things in a masculine way, following, the advice of men who don't even understand the divine feminine and how it works. Or if they are following women who don't fully understand how the divine feminine works either, and tells you like just to be beautiful and to focus on your goals, be attractive physically in the world, and not take life seriously because it's going to draw to you some type of savior. There has to be a mixture between there is no savior, you will be saving yourself, okay? You must have discipline, you must have emotional regulation, which comes through knowing how to and when to rest, and structuring your time and your efforts around your peak energy times, your peak energy where you can be really productive. And that comes from a lot of self-inquiry. That comes from asking yourself these deeper questions. And that comes from being able to access the lunar current of your own self, which is very different from Mercury, which I'm going to get back to. Okay? Press 1 in the chat if you're starting to understand and see how some of you are experiencing this burnout and wondering kind of, where are the fruits of my labor? And then you look at your lifestyle and you're like, but I'm really tired. Because being really tired, really burnt out is not attractive. It's not attractive to the physical world as far as wanting to attract a mate. It's not attractive as far as, what happens to your skin, what happens to your hair. Like, your skin will start to break out. You'll start to feel aches in your body. Your physical self doesn't even like it. Okay? Your environment is going to show you there's cracks in your system. It's going to dry out. There's not going to be what the sustenance that you need in the refrigerator, because you're not able to feel and know what you really need. It just starts things. Things start to clutter. Things are either cluttered or it's emptiness because they're being burnt up. All right. So what's the difference? Right? We have Mercury and we think of the mind. And then we have the moon, and it really speaks to the body and the deeper subconscious mind, manas, MANAS. And a very specific thing that I want you to understand about applying this mantra science, these sound vibrations, is manas, M as in Mary, A-N, Nancy, A-S. Okay? And thank you for the notes, Emerald. Appreciate you. When you are feeling really, when you're racing, your mind is racing, when you are very busy and you've been doing a lot of left-brained, logical thinking, rational, putting things together, and you've gotten to the point where you are starting to hit a wall of feeling anxious, right? Mercurial energy is not really the direction you want to go in, because it can now overstimulate that same vibration. Okay? Because Mercury has to do with intellect. Mercury has to do with logical thinking. Mercury wants to move quickly. That's the nature of it. Mercury wants to help you memorize things so that you can recall it more quickly. When you're stressed out, your Mercury is going to be going into hyperdrive, hyperactivity. Understood? How we counterbalance that is somatic grounding. And a way to remember that is, we have the word somatic. Now, soma, if you ask the Wikipedia or the encyclopedia or whatever, they'll say soma is based in the Greek root word for the body. But the ancient language of Sanskrit came before Greek. And Soma is related to the lunar deity, Chandra. The language that we use, that we can see the root syllables in these words. When we see root syllables in words, like a word based Soma from Sanskrit, be rest assured that the energetic, the frequency of the word itself is going to have more clearer meaning and impact. And the reason why is because ancient languages were more about expressing things as they are, as opposed to describing the visual of it. So here's a simple example, because I don't want to get you confused, but I think this is important for you to know. If you and I didn't speak the same language, and I'm speaking to you and I go, something went boom, okay? Boom in itself doesn't really have a meaning, right? But the sound boom creates that expression in real time. Now, if I say something was explosive, you will have to understand what the meaning of the word explosive is in order for your mind then to create the picture. But the sound boom does all of that fast. Does that make sense? So ancient languages are like that, where there's less large vocabulary that you have to break down in order to understand, but more potent syllables that create the vibration of that visual. Okay? So I found it interesting while having this conversation with one of my really good friends, where the subject matter of somatic grounding has become very popular, because a lot of people are experiencing like huge nervous system resets, which include anxiety, having restlessness, depression that follows that happening. There's this disconnect because the body is needing to slow down, but they don't know how to slow down and to tap into connecting back to the body. So I was like, oh, It's interesting. Somatic, soma, moon, lunar, body. And even in astrology, the lunar aspects or transits are going to speak to the movement of your body, what's happening within, what's happening with your body. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Huggy B. Appreciate it. Appreciate your contribution. Right? When your mind is being mercurial and it's like going, is in hyperdrive, is trying to connect all the dots, is trying to get these messages across, is really trying to make sense of everything. You can't think your way out of that space. Like you cannot think your way out of a nervous breakdown. It doesn't work. So for everyone who, you're having a nervous breakdown and all your friends are like, okay, you got to really think about, who really loves you, and you have to think about what's really important. You can't think through a nervous breakdown. You can't think yourself out of a nervous breakdown. And so this is where the mantras become important, because the mantras are not regular language where you're trying to make sense of it. They are sound medicine. And in chanting them in such a way where you're doing a japa, right? A repetitive motion of activity of the mantra, saying it over and over again, 108 times. That is not about thinking. That is interrupting thinking. And in the midst of it, with this particular mantra that I gave you all, it will cause your voice to go into 150 hertz. And 150 hertz, that sound itself is connected to calming the vagus nerve. So y'all know y'all ears gonna get a little scientific, a little more scientific, because I'd rather share this information where there's facts for you to lean on as opposed to just some fluff. Okay. So even if you don't trust that your voice is attuned to this particular frequency, there's another tool. You can listen to 150 hertz for a vagus reset. And I'm sure you hear about the vagus nerve on a regular basis. Like if you're really looking for a way to calm down, especially if you're type A and you're like, I'm on the go, I need to get things done. My meditations, they cannot take longer than 5-10 minutes because like my mind is on, I got this to take care of and to knock it down. I need to be productive. Fine. I'm not trying to change you. But your vagus nerve is a major component of your parasympathetic nervous system. When you're able to reset, stimulate, when I say reset, they mean stimulate your vagus nerve, it tells all of the rest of your nervous system that you're safe. That now you can digest that meal that you just had. Now you can allow your muscles to begin the recovery and rebuilding themselves into the image that you're working hard towards. That now any damage that you are causing to your brain by overheating your computer system, that you can cool it off. Okay, like the same thing that happens to your devices when you are putting hella information in it and asking it to crunch these numbers and to give you this data. That same thing happens within your brain. And so this lunar mantra cools you down. And in that cooling, it's very soothing to your nervous system. And that is the only place where you can attract wealth. Wealth is attracted to a relaxed nervous system. The example that just popped into my mind, although some might argue it's not wealth, but an immediate reward for a relaxed system. I don't know why somebody's watching and getting ready to go to work. But think about the fluidity of a dancer. Okay. I had a friend who used to call them shoe models. Shouts out to all my dancing girlies, right? The fluidity and the grace that she might exude on the pole, on the stage, the more fluid that she appears is the more money is going to come towards her. The more at ease in her body that she appears to be in, the more out of her mind and more so just in the flow, more money is coming. On a dance floor, in a club setting, the woman in the bedroom, for those of you who are having any issues, the more rigid and stiff you are, is the less you're getting what you want. That's just the science. Okay? It is what it is. So you don't change the game, you learn the game and you play it properly because it actually works better for your health, that you are able to cool down, calm down, tap into your lunar current. Okay? Now, what happens is the Soma mantra, the Om, Som, SOMΑYA, NAMAH, that mantra will activate acetylcholine. Okay, acetylcholine is our natural tranquilizer. It's a natural hormone, it's a neurotransmitter. It's going to relax your body. It's going to relax you. You can't digest without being calm. You cannot breathe deeply without being calm. When you're breathing deeply, you are also detoxifying your lungs. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? So yes, I started this video with letting you all know that I was chanting the mantra just to chill into my power nap. So yes, you can chant this mantra at any time, but be forewarned that if you have somewhere to go, you should set a really good alarm so that you're not responsible for trying to wake yourself up. And I would set a few alarms, like the first one to try to break you out of this deep sleep, and then the next one where you actually can hear it. Because I didn't hear my one alarm that I set. And it's good. It's good, especially for all of my creatives. You know, if you're working on something and you find that your mind is reaching burnout. So you've already been thinking, you're writing, you're putting, maybe you're doing a blog, maybe you're writing a book, maybe you're trying to solve some problem in the world. And you decide, okay, it's time, now is my rest time. When you're doing this mantra, it's going to help smooth out that energy of trying to figure something out. And it, through that, will allow these supernatural aspects that we have within ourselves, okay, to rise to the surface. The answer will arise. You will come across the answer, whether it's through a dream that helps to put you in a situation that answers the question, or it puts you in a state of mind where you can meet with your guides and they will come and answer the question. Okay. Or if you just need to completely give your brain a break, like when you unplug and turn off your computer and when you turn it back on, it's just like fresh and ready to go. And all of the information that you need, you have access to it again. Okay. So the question here, yes, chanting it right before bedtime is excellent, especially if you have trouble sleeping. Okay. This is just when you are a really highly productive person and you have a lot of responsibility, going to sleep at night should be something that you do as opposed to you just crashing. Because when you crash out, it's like your body is taking sleep, but your entire system will appreciate it more that you are responsible enough to recognize where you are overworking. And the only reason why you're still up and going is because your mind is going constantly. And so you decide, I'm going to take my shower and I'm going to hit this mantra and I'm putting myself to bed. Like how we do for our children. Like we go, you're a growing child. You're going to need 10 to 12 hours of rest. So this is your bedtime. And you go, and I'm not tired. And you're like, that's fine. Count sheep. As adults, that does not go away. And it is very imperative that as a productive adult that you are able to do the same thing for yourself. You're able to go, well, I'm not tired, and go, okay, that's fine. But you haven't slept, like for real, actually gone to bed for 2 days. I know that you guys do this. I'm pretty damn certain that you guys do this. You know, like that's not going to help you be more successful, especially again as a woman. It's just going to dry you out. It's going to age you. Right, Nari? Tell him I don't get up until it's nighttime because it's time for me to rest during the day. Right? See? You see her? She's rocking with us. She's been asleep all day. She ain't talked to none of my clients. Let's see a question. Okay, so this can be great for studying for exams, I suppose. So when it comes to studying for exams, which is why I shared the difference between Mercury and Moon mantras, is that If you're studying for exams, mostly what you're trying to do is you're trying to memorize things, memorize systems, equations, definitions, uh, mechanics, like how things work, right? So you need the mercurial mantras to assist in your memorization and quick retrieval. In order for you to integrate that information in such a way that it becomes so that you're not so stressed out about it, because you want to make sure you're in a restful state before you go into an exam. Now, you're giving me more to touch on here, right? You need to give your brain a rest, because if it's too tired, it cannot recall the information. It just can't. And the more stressed out you are about recalling that information is the more it seems to hide in the corners of your brain. And we have evidence of that via having conversations with someone, and you get stuck and you're like, what's the name of, oh my God, I just had it right there at the tip of my tongue. If you stay in a state of trying to find out and remember what that particular word or whatever was, you will never find it. But the moment you go, it'll come back to me, and then you continue the conversation, that lunar aspect of rest, meaning you're not on that no more, is why that information can come to the front and you go, that's what it was. See what I'm saying? These are wonderful opportunities in your daily life to see how your spirituality is connected to reality. You see what I'm saying? So it's not all about the woo and I'm just trying to, fake myself out into believing certain things. Understanding the rhythms of our systems. We are not just solar, we're not just lunar. We have a lot of things going on. And speaking to these planetary aspects, it is a time right now. I don't even know if I should shift into this now or do this later, but I guess because we are moving towards a new moon and we are also under the influence, not, this is how life is going to be, but we're under the influence of Mercury retrograde, that I should kind of talk a little bit about some of these outer planets and their influences. I may, but I'm just gonna need to have like a break in the content to get into that a little bit. So I hope I answered that question as far as when to insert this mantra when you are studying for exams. Okay. Okay, cool. You said that makes sense. Got it. So now, while I have you all here, what's up with these outer planets, right? These outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, right? They're a big deal because these outer planets speak more to the greater community. And while the subject matter of manifestation is on the table, right? You're all working on your own individual projects. I want to share with you that because of these influences of these outer planets, any ideas that you have that are very ego driven, very individualized, really about yourself, they're going to get blown back on their back. So if you're really looking for a hack into success with manifesting what you desire in business, in your life, is somehow to connect it to the community and to get your community behind it, so that as a collective, there are more minds focused on that particular thing. So for those of you who are a part of our community, the reason why you all are even more successful is because you have multiple people who are focusing on these goals, especially when it comes to the collective goals as far as land acquisition, homes, school, like a physical building for the school, places where we can retreat. I'm going to say that the things that I have worked towards manifesting, that the speed in which those things have occurred directly correlates to it being not something that's just for me individually, but because it's connected to a community desire and a calling. It's like I'm a part of a couple of different communities, more intimately and then more publicly. And anytime there's something that I want to accomplish to be of service or to create a container for a greater amount of people, it happens very quickly, especially if I can share and collaborate these ideas and sentiments with people who are on the same wavelength. The outer planets are supporting that more so than the energy of trying to beat out all of the competitors for your own selfish gain. And so this is not really it's not like a capitalism versus socialist type of uh, conversation. It's more about being able to read the room. And you want to be able to read the room energetically and see what's happening around you. Okay. And be more discerning that there's greater opportunity for more increase in wealth when the container is bigger. And so I am probably going to just leave you all with this is, before you go to bed tonight, right? Think about how much greater your container can be if you consider whatever it is that you are holding within yourself, incubating as an idea, as a structure, as a plan to bring to life in this world that can be of service or contain more people, more of the earth, more of the community that you are a part of. And see how what you need comes to you a lot faster. Are we committed to that? Yeah. Let me get some moons in the chat. And for the sake of science, everyone who's watching this video, do me a favor and recite this lunar mantra right before you go to bed. I just want to know how your sleep was affected in the comments below. So everyone come back tomorrow and let me know how your rest went and if it was I don't even want to tell you if it was this or that. Just how was it? How was it? We're going to collect real data on how mantras actually affect our sleep. And if for any of you who are in school and, maybe you're studying sleep, maybe you are studying psychology, you feel free to come to my comment section and see real live data on how this stuff works. All right. So, once again, I thank you all for being here with me. Rest well. More to come. This is my Wisdom Wednesdays. Peace, love, and bliss. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Good night.